Okay, so seeing this tweet on Twitter made me realize that websites that have these animated SVG paths are really cool, right? Like you can just be a little bit different if you have something like this on your website. You know, you can charge higher prices, you can, use this as a wow factor on your template and make thousands of dollars. You can do all sorts of, good things if you have something like this. And inside the Framer, you can actually create this without writing a single line of code. And in this video, that's basically my goal, to teach you how to do that. My name is Nandu, this is Framer University, and let's get started. Okay, so as you can see here, we are still on Twitter. I just wanted to show you that this is the original post. I'm not sure if I showcase that, but yeah, I just want to make sure that I give proper credit. So, this is the inspiration, but when it comes to creating this inside a Framer, we're gonna have to use a component for it. So I'm gonna just first go to Framer University and I'll get the component. So if you just search for animate path. Okay, animate path on scroll. You can just find this component, and for completely free, you can copy it to your clipboard. Again, we are on the framer.university/resources website, and we're copying the component from here. Really important that these resources that you see on the Framer University site are completely free to use in both personal and commercial projects. So feel free to browse the resources and get something that you like or get inspired, whatever. So back into Framer. As you can see, we already have sort of like a demo page, and we can see that it actually works, but I think I'm going to just start a new page here so that I can actually show you that how this can be, structured from the ground up. Okay, so as you can see here, we are on a page, which is basically what you see when you start a new project. So you can follow along with this video if you just start a new project and you basically practice with me. So yeah, we have 3 breakpoints. If you don't have these, you can just click the button and add them. And all of these breakpoints are also turned into a layout on the right panel: vertical direction, start distribute, and 0 gap, usual structure. Now within this, I'm gonna draw a frame, just press down for my keyboard, drew it, and then I'm gonna call this main. This is the main container on your website. You might be asking, why do we have to create these seemingly unnecessary frames in order to just create a simple website? Well, this is how browsers and search engines will understand the structure of your website, making sure that it has great SEO performance and stuff like that. So it's recommended to use this structure when you build a website. So we have this main container here, and of course this will also be turned into a stack or a layout on the right panel. Vertical direction and 0 gap will be also implemented here, as well as the start distribute. The fill color can be removed because we do not need that. And then we can just maybe create the section here. So I'm going to draw another frame and I'll call this scroll section. On the right panel, again, I'm going to set fill width so that it's nice adapting to different width changes. And yeah, I can set the main container to fit height, so it fits the content within, as well as the desktop breakpoint. So we're good. The scroll section can actually be a little bit longer, like 3000 pixels. This is really important because we are going to actually use a sticky structure. Because if you look at the the demo that I already created, you can see that here this the illustration is just staying centered. It's not scrolling down as I'm scrolling. This is not the only way this component can be utilized, but this is just a way to, play a longer illustration or draw out a longer illustration without having to because of course, if the illustration is longer, you have to keep it in the view because if it scrolls away, then you don't have time to fully reveal it. So that's why we do this. So the sticky structure has to be implemented in order to keep this in the view and still have the ability to scroll down and trigger this, path reveal. So yeah, here within the scroll section, that's why we're gonna have a sticky frame. But in order to have this relatively positioned, of course, the scroll section container that we've just created has to also be a layout. So on the right panel, we're turning it into layout, and the distribute will be set to start, of course, the gap will be 0, and then within this frame that will actually be called sticky, will also be set to width fill, and I think the height will be 100 VH. It's basically viewport height, which is a unit that is dynamic, so it always calculates based on the viewport height that you have. Phones have smaller viewport height, different screens that have different viewport height, and if you have 100 VH, it basically means that it gets the 100% of the current viewport, which basically means that it will automatically adapt to the screen height, which is very handy when we want to create these responsive sites. So this is what we have, sticky 100 VH, and I'll remove the fill color because I don't need it, and I'll turn it into layout. And you can kind of see a pattern here. I'm basically doing the same thing over and over again. I create frames, I turn them into layouts, I set them to width fill. And yeah, this is something that you kind of realize when you start building with Framer, that certain things has to be done in order to make sure that your site is well structured and responsive. Now within this sticky frame, we can finally add our component to. I don't know if it's still on my clipboard. I'm gonna just copy it again, and then inside of the sticky frame, I'll just paste it. Now, as you can see, this is a component here on the screen, and on the right panel, we have a bunch of options to customize this. So I can change the color, I can change the width of the stroke, and I have some other properties as well. But as you can see now, for some weird reason, I kind of see a star, and I don't really want to see a star. I mean, you might want to see a star, but you might want to have something else. So the first question is, how can you change what you see here? Well, this is a path reveal component, so you need to use an SVG path. You might be wondering, how do I create that? I'm inside of a web development tool. I probably cannot create the path. Well, you're wrong. You don't need Figma for this. You don't need anything else. You just need Framer. So let me show you how. You just go to the left side, because this is an infinite canvas right here. We have the ultimate freedom here, and we're just going to draw the path. So on the top, we have the vector tool. I can just open that and click the path. And now I can just draw whatever I want. You might actually have an illustration that you want to use. That's also totally fine, but you might just want to have something simple, and you can just draw it here. So I might have a little, line like this. It's not going to be super nice, I'm going to be honest with you. Mainly, let's just say it's just a random line, but this is what we're going to have as an example. So once you have your random line, you can just right click it and copy as SVG. It's right here. Now, once we have this, we can go back to the component, and on the right panel, we switch from file to code, and we paste the code here that we've just copied. And as you can see, we now see the same path on the component that we drew here, which is really cool. And I can resize these components so it has the size of the path and everything. But yeah, basically that's it. And if you have something like a more complex illustration, which is stroke based, and you maybe created an Illustrator or download it from the internet, you can still use that. You can just go to the right panel, click file instead, and just click choose file and upload the SVG file here. Now I'm going to go back to the code though, because this is our example. Now I'll just set the beam width to 10, and the start at will be at the top. Start at basically means that when this will reach the top of the viewport, it will start playing. So that's basically it. Now we're just gonna keep all the properties like this, and then we're gonna start exploring them and experimenting. But first, let's just preview the website with this little play button and see what we have. As you can see, we don't see anything, which is not really good. The reason why we don't see anything is that probably this component goes into like a state where it's like starts playing and it's not revealing itself, but it doesn't get triggered for some reason. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just set the progress start to 1. So now it basically means, and also I have to set the opacity to 1, that by default, it's going to be fully visible, because I just want to see if the sticky works, because as you can see, it doesn't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the sticky frame to an actual sticky positioning on the right panel. Of course, if you don't set it sticky, it's not going to be sticky. So yeah, it was a little, it's something I didn't do, and that's why it didn't work. Perfect. Now it's going to be sticky as I preview it and I scroll. It's not scrolling away until I reach the end of the section. Which section? Well, the parent frame. The sticky frame on the left panel, as you can see, wrapped within the scroll section, that's the parent. It's a long frame, so we can scroll for the length of this, and then when we reach the end of it, it will scroll away. In order to kind of just show you how it works, I'll just add a dummy frame here or a spacer frame at the end of my website, so we can kind of see when we reach the end of the scroll container. So you can see that indeed I can scroll, and as I reach the end of that scroll frame, it just scrolls away and the sticky effect ends, which is excellent. So now going back to this component, let's take a look at two properties which are really important, the progress and the opacity. So progress basically means that what progress value I want to have at the start. Of course, you're going to have a 0, right? I mean, not if you want to do the opposite, maybe unreveal the path. But for now, we just want to do a reveal. So start, the path will not be, progressed. It's going to have 0 progress, and then it's going to basically draw itself out. At the end, it's going to have 1 progress. This value is basically 0 and 1. So you can set it between 0 and 1. Opacity, same. At start, you might want to see it. You might not want to see it. We can explore this. So first, let's just do opacity 1, on both start and end. Now, as you can see, as I start scrolling down, indeed, it starts drawing itself out, which looks really good. Now, let's take a look at how it works if I set 0 on the start value of the opacity. As you can see now, not only it will slowly progress and reveal itself, but also it will fade in, which looks pretty cool. And by playing around with these values, such as, flipping them, like setting progress 1 at start and 0 at end, I can create an effect where the path is initially visible, but as I start scrolling down, it slowly unreveals itself. I don't know how to say it differently, but yeah, you can kind of see what I'm talking about if you look at my screen. So yeah, pretty cool. What else can I do? Well, I think I'll just go with start 0 and 1, and I'll keep the opacity 1. Now we have some other properties here, so let's take a look at them as well. Distance. What is distance? Well, this is basically how long we have to scroll in order to get the full progress revealed. So if this is 1000, we can scroll for 1000 pixels. If I can just set it to like 100, so you can see how weird it is. If we have 100, I just scroll a little bit and it's already fully visible. So this is not really cool, right? So here in this case, we have a scroll section which is 3000 pixels in height. So in theory, if we have something around 3000, we can kind of match it to the sticky effect. So when it starts scrolling away, it will also kind of end at that time. So let's set distance to 3000. So I'm going to start scroll. As you can see, it doesn't line up perfectly, so we have to tweak it a bit. Maybe I'm going to set it to 2000. Now let's see. Yeah, as you can see now, it starts scrolling away, and that's kind of the point where it gets fully revealed. So it's pretty good. Now, if you want to take this effect to the next level and do what the inspiration did as well on Twitter, we can take a quick peek to kind of remember what we saw. Here it is. As you can see, this path is playing, but it's kind of, I don't know, it has a interesting fact because behind we also have like a gray version, and it's almost like, I don't know, it's just maybe like a progress bar where you have like a darker tone and then a lighter tone as it's progressing, you know, something like that. And you can do this really easily by just duplicating this component. So I'm going to duplicate this. And of course, now they are both relatively positioned, so we have to find a way to position them right on top of each other some way. So I'm going to set one of them to absolute, and I'm going to center it with Option H and V. Now I have to make sure that one of them is on top of the other, so I'll just go ahead on the left panel, call this top, and set the z-index on the right panel to 3, making sure that this will indeed be on the very top. Now the color on this will be white, so it's going to be a stronger color, and the other component on the left panel will be selected. On the right panel, the opacity of the color will be tweaked slightly, maybe 25%. Now here we don't really see the difference because, you know, the top is still on the very top, but if we hide that, we see that below we indeed got another version, another instance of the component which has the dropped opacity. Now if we preview this, you see that we don't really see them, which is because the dropped opacity version will of course have to start at 1 and end at 1. It doesn't have to have any animation. It just needs to, you know, stay there in the background and kind of, you know, wait for the white line to go over it. So now with this simple change, hopefully we'll be able to scroll down, and yeah, as you can see, it's nicely progressing. And it looks really cool. Now, I think that's basically it for the component. Feel free to play around with all of these properties and, you know, create cool stuff with this inside of Framer. I honestly cannot wait to see all the different, I don't know, cool things that you build with this and the amazing website. So yeah, make sure to tag me on Twitter @LearnFramer and, you know, share all the good stuff that you built with this. I think that's it for this video. I hope that it was helpful. If you have any doubts about this component or questions, make sure to drop them in the comments section. And yeah, make sure to like this video, subscribe for more, and I'm gonna see you in the next one.